going on, fish heads? Long time no see.
First show of the year.
Yeah, first stream of the year. Happy New Year, everybody. As always, you can follow me and Jess on Instagram, which we need to post more often.
Yeah, I'm really bad about that. My bad.
But you can follow us.
If you want a New Year's resolution, I'll make my Instagram more active.
Perfect.
There you are.
Guys, we appreciate you being here. As always, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Those are the currencies, one of the currencies to win some swag here at the end of the show.
Yeah, so we're giving away 2 Waterbox shirts. But like you said, you've got to be active in the comments, ask questions, make friends, just chit chat. And we'll pick those little winners a little bit later in the show. But today, we're taking a look at all the aquariums around the headquarters.
Yep.
We made some changes in the last bit, so we're going to show you what we have going on here. It's always nice to look at the beautiful office aquariums. We are going to be taking questions throughout the show, so start dropping them into the chat now. It can be anything, Waterbox, tank care related, product, all that.
Any question you have, put it below. This is the time to do it. The reason we do this live every week, me and Jess, is so that we can be here with you live and you guys can ask questions in real time and get them answered. So definitely put them in the comments below.
Yep, so we've been gone for quite a bit, but the new year, now back to our weekly shows. So make sure you're joining us every week now that we're back.
Yep.
And hopefully everyone had a really good holiday. December's a crazy month.
It is.
It's just so much going on, holidays and the new year and all that stuff.
There's always a lot of breaks from Waterbox Live. So like when we get back after the new year, we're always like, all right, got to figure this out again.
Get back into it. So like I said, we've got a few new tanks up here. We've taken some tanks down. Some tanks have been with us for quite a while. So we're going to show you some clips of what we've got going on around here, talk about them, and like I said, we are taking questions throughout. So start dropping them in there.
Yeah, put your questions below.
All right, we're going to start with the Frag 165.6 that we have here. So this is your 6-foot model. And this one has been with us through the old studio to here. Set up for about over a year.
Yeah, so this basically holds all the coral that gets transferred in between the different systems, the new setups and such, right?
Yeah, so this is kind of where the holding system for different, sometimes fish get thrown in here and then move back out, where our corals go when we're kind of moving stuff around or just growing stuff out if they're smaller. It's just kind of, like you said, the holding tank. Personally, my favorite tank in the office because I can reach into it by standing, and that's my favorite thing ever. So we have some of our bigger colonies, frag rack in here, that fits really nicely around the overflow.
So, by definition, this is used kind of as a frag tank in a sense. It's a holding tank, which has come in tremendous handy for us with all the tanks we set up and break down, etc.
And quite a few of the corals have grown themselves into there permanently after being in there for a while.
What's cool about this, guys, though, is this doesn't have to be a frag tank. We call it the frag because it can be used as that, but I would say more people set it up as a display.
Yeah, it is nice because for a look-down view for certain corals, it's really nice. Shut those power heads off in the flow, and you've got that beautiful top-down view. Yeah. Easy to reach into, shallow reef. Seen people doing like the lagoon style. Yep. And as an SBS with a lot of tabling and capping type of corals would be awesome in one of these. So I love the frag line. It's got 3, 4, and 5 to 6 foot available on it.
Yep.
And we actually have quite a few clownfish in here, as you'll see.
I was just going to say, there's a naked clownfish.
This is actually a group of clowns that ORA sent us way back in the day when we're doing the aquaculture build. And they're all super juveniles whenever they came in. So they have actually grown up in here. And with the space and everything, they have done well. But this is not always true. So don't necessarily think you can throw 6, 8 clowns in and everything's going to be okay.
And be successful.
With them all being aquacultured and coming at the same exact time and small, it has done well. And no one has paired up to...
No one has paired up.
No one has paired up, which does help a lot too.
Yeah.
Once they pair, you can have one pair take over a whole tank and be really, really aggressive to any other clownfish. So, got our little blue hippo, foxface, nice little variety of fish in there, keeping it clean and busy.
Cool. So that is the frag.
Yep.
6-foot frag, also available in a 3, 4, and 5 foot, as well as the 6 that you just saw.
Yep.
Beautiful.
I love the lime.
It is one of my favorite, even though like I'm way too tall for it technically. I love the look of the corals and the fish from the top.
Yep.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, you can pretty much reach anything, see anything.
James Orr's asking, I'd love to set up a planted beta tank in my office. Do you think the Clear 6 is too small?
No, but we've had people.
It's debatable.
Extreme beta people will tell you possibly too small. But no, I mean, if it's really the only fish in there, I think you're perfectly fine. Some people think, beta should probably have 10 or 16 gallons, but I think you're okay.
Thank you, James. James is asking, would you run a Waterbox Nano with the new AI blade light?
Yeah, so they are meant for nanos. They are good for that. They're not going to be as high output as like your larger radions and stuff like that, but for the smaller tanks, blades work pretty well from what I'm gathering. And it's got a different look to it that some people are looking for than maybe like a light arm.
A little bit more economical too, probably depending on which tank.
Yeah.
Over like the Prime or something like that.
Right, if you're doing a nano and you only need one of them, definitely more economical probably for that.
Cool. Cole's asking, when are you guys going to sell some frag racks?
Huh.
I don't know. There's a lot of them on the market. I mean, they're not real hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, I say
it would be a cool product.
It would be. Yeah. If you want something that's not super fancy, you can make them out of egg crate.
Yep.
The light diffuser egg crate, which is used a lot in the aquarium hobby, and there's a ton of manufacturers that make custom size ones, magnet held ones.
Yeah, many years ago I'd go to Home Depot and buy the white. I think it's designed for lights.
It is light diffuser called egg crate. You can get it white and special order in black too, so it's still pretty sleek.
Like Home Depot, at least for the last time I checked, doesn't have the black.
No, you have to order black either online or sometimes local fish stores will order the black in bulk.
I see a lot of people joining us here. Again, you guys, we're taking questions, so post your questions below. We're talking about all the tanks we have here in the office. Yep. We're giving away some swag, currency to win that swag, liking the stream, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, but also engage with us, ask questions. That's why we're live.
Chit chat.
Talk about what you're having for dinner. What are you having to drink? It doesn't matter, but make sure to ask questions.
You always want to know what people are doing for dinner.
Make friends in the comments,
All right, you want to take a look at our next tank up, which is our ORA build?
Yeah, one more question.
Okay.
Sometimes the questions, I'm not sure if they're actually questions or answers to other questions that people are asking.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think this might be one of them.
All right.
How about a Peninsula 65 being an all-in-one? We don't know if that's a question or an answer, but we
Question mark.
but we already have that 65.4 all-in-one.
Yep.
So
check it out. All right. So now here's our ORA aquarium.
my favorite tank.
Yes. So this is the Marinex 4820 Peninsula, and this has been set up for over a year and a half now. So it was June 2021. So we're at a bit over a year and a half. And if you haven't seen the build on this, check it out. This is the fully aquacultured aquarium by ORA. All the corals, fish, and everything are aquacultured there. So this is a very environmentally friendly, sustainable, and you'll see the variety of corals we have in here is immense. We haven't added anything in forever. Stuff is just growing and filling in.
Look at those zoanthids. Crazy.
Yeah, the zoos are crazy. The Hyphastria. Those goniopores are ridiculously large. And it's just such a beautiful aquarium. And it shows the diversity you can get in aquaculture in our hobby, which is so good. The reefs out there, a lot of them get impacted badly with just changes in ocean, overharvesting. So this is really nice to have someone like ORA that has such a great variety of healthy livestock, corals, inverts, and fish.
I always say, if you go to your local fish store, ask for ORA. It's just a really good company to buy from. One of the biggest things I like about their corals when you get them is that they're pretty large. They're not like little tiny stick frags if you get SPS. They're pretty large colonies when you buy them. Same goes for the LPS. They're pretty big in size. So.
Yeah, they don't skimp on size. They're going to get really nice. And you can only get them through your local fish store or online at like Live Aquaria.
Yeah.
So you can order direct from them, but definitely ask your local fish store to bring in some ORA for you. And if you haven't watched the build, go check it out. This originally started in the all-in-one 65.4.
Yeah.
And then we upgraded it as stuff was starting to get bigger and adding more into the Peninsula 4820. And I think we might be due for an upgrade again.
Yeah, we've been throwing that around the office. We want to definitely give this tank a bigger tank so that we can expand on the aquaculture aspect of it. I'm sure we'll document that for y'all.
Yeah, if we do change over and add more, it definitely should be a series just to show the progression because the stuff, and it was not not this Blue Friday, but the one before. And I think it was only like a 6 or 8 month update.
Yeah.
And we showed the growth on these corals was already insane.
Yeah.
Like looking back now, I mean, the Ghanies were nice size when we got them, but they were still, little tiny things. And
We need to do
they're like
another
this
update.
big now.
Yeah, we should definitely do that update before we upgrade it.
Yeah, we have to do that and then
Yeah.
document the upgrade. So,
Yeah.
got some
Awesome.
questions coming.
Again, you guys post your questions below. That's what we're here for. Ask your questions about Waterbox, our aquariums, keeping aquariums, whatever it may be, saltwater, freshwater. Don't ask me about freshwater. I'm not that great at it. Got a couple freshwater people in the room though. I got Rustin over there. He'll help me out. I need a bigger tank and money to pay for it. Well,
Financing.
if you're in, luckily for you, we offer financing in U.S., Canada, Europe, and the UK.
There you go. No excuses now.
Yep.
Time to upgrade.
Ethan, what happened to all the peninsula tanks other than an Infinia? Well, we have Marine X Peninsula. We have Infinia Peninsula. We also have all-in-one Peninsula.
Yeah. So you've got, for sump version, you have 3, 4, 5, and 6 foot still. Just the regular Peninsula went over to the Infinia Peninsula, which is great because it's got the aluminum frame, bigger sump, all of that. So check out the Infinia Peninsula.
Ethan, we also have custom peninsulas too. So if you,
There you go.
want something custom, head over to the website, click on the custom, fill out the form, and we'll get you an estimate on a custom Infinia of your liking.
There you go.
Thunder says, I'm gonna set up an AIO 50.3. I was wondering if it's okay to put it on carpet flooring.
Anytime you have carpet flooring, we do recommend putting like a board under it, a nice sheet of plywood or something, because you do want to raise it up off the carpet so that the doors don't drag. It also gives it a more stable spot to level at,
Yeah.
so that it evenly compresses down versus with carpeting, it can be very spotty. A lot of times with carpet, you find that it sinks down more than you think, and you've already filled it, now you've got to like unlevel. And it's
Yeah.
hard to do any leveling when it's sunk into the carpet, and the doors also will have a little bit harder time to open. So ideally, put plywood under it, just cut it nicely to size. You won't really even notice, and it's going to help you keep everything more level and safe.
And if you can, don't put it on carpet at all,
Yeah, that's true.
because I'll tell you what that carpet's gonna look like in a year. Musical theater experience. Just got my AO 61.5 new secret model. This is my 4th Waterbox since November. Help me, I'm addicted. I'm just kidding. All in one, probably 60. Wow.
65.4.
Yeah, 65.4.
You don't even know.
I know, it threw me off. Cool, awesome.
4th Waterbox is
Yeah.
November. That is a problem, and no, it's a good problem. But it's definitely you're definitely into the hobby. If you're not part of our user group, for any of you guys have a Waterbox, definitely join. We have a whole bunch of new Waterbox owners, around the holidays. So check out our official Waterbox user group on Facebook.
Over 20,000 in there, and it's super active. A tremendous resource. Everybody's friendly. So,
Yeah, it's a really awesome.
and if you're not
group.
friendly, you're gone. Get out.
Banned.
We like to keep it friendly. Emmanuel, do you all have plans to make a 65-gallon peninsula without being an all-in-one?
No, because, well, the 3 foot's probably pretty close.
Yeah.
So check out the 3620 Peninsula. That's probably your closest in gallons. Thing with a peninsula is you don't want to go really long and low either, because it takes away from the aspect of it being peninsula, which is supposed to be higher cabinet, which it is, a little bit taller tank, so that it is really more like room divider style. If you go too short, so you want a 4 foot 65 in a peninsula without with a sump, it's going to make it much more shallow
Yeah.
and not really that true peninsula style. But do check out the 3 foot, the 3620 Peninsula. It should be gallon wise pretty close.
Yep. Richard's asking, everyone asks what your favorite office tank is, but which is your least favorite and why? Well, we just took down 2 tanks, which we'll show you what replaced it here in just a little bit.
Yeah.
My favorite's still the ORA.
Yeah, but
My
your
least favorite. It's probably been taken down by now.
You can answer it still. They don't know it's taken 9
I'm trying to think. There's been a lot of tanks. I can't even remember half of them. What's your least favorite?
Predator?
That was pretty cool, but
Yeah. Are we talking all past ones too?
Color.
All of our past
Yeah.
ones too?
You're stumping us, Richard.
I'm going to say if we're talking current tanks, and I'm only saying this because of I'm vertically challenged, would be the LX because I can't flip and get into it without a ladder. Step stool doesn't even cut it. And as Rustin pointed out earlier, obviously I thought I was making food into the Euro brace, and I'm so short it was landing on the ledge, and he found it. So that's the only reason. The tank itself is beautiful, everything. It just height-wise, it's yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit different maintenance.
Yep. You have to answer now.
I think I'm going to go probably with the Predator tank.
Yeah.
While I loved the fish in there, the fish caused a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Like there's compatibility issues, but also like Keenan said, there wasn't a lot of color.
Yeah, the fish was the only thing with color, and it's still kind of like in a basic backdrop.
Yeah.
And that was in our 6-foot peninsula.
Yep.
There you go.
Which
Man, you really
eventually-
made us. You made us work
Which
hard for that
eventually
one.
got turned into a freshwater tank.
It did, and then we said
Briefly.
bye-bye.
It was cool, but what are some stands you recommend for the Peninsula 25?
That is going to be a great question for our user group on Facebook, because we do have a lot of 25 owners out there that have found good good places for cabinets. A lot of times I think people find Amazon, IKEA, that kind of deal. But definitely check there, because I've seen plenty of 25s on cabinets.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll do 2 more questions, then we'll jump into the
Okay.
aquarium.
Mike's asking, do you have to finance the entire amount for a tank, or can you pay partial with cash? So, Mike, that actually kind of depends on the market. I know in the UK there is like some with Divide By, there's some down payment options.
Yeah, all
I don't
depends
wanna-
on who
I
the
don't-
financer is. There's so many.
Yeah, but I can tell you that like in the US we use Bread, a company called Bread, and we have 0% for 12 months, 0% for 18 months. Kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Pay it off over 12 months, no interest. So
Yeah, depending on which one you plan on using, but you can always reach out to our customer service or look at the website for the actual financial
yeah.
company, and it'll kind of break it down for you
The
too.
cool thing too is like when you go and apply for the financing, it doesn't ping your credit or anything.
Yeah.
So
That's always good.
it's not going to hurt you to go see what you can get. Is a 50.3 all-in-one a good starter tank?
All-in-ones are great. I love all-in-ones. They're simple. Even if you're not in the beginner, I think they're really nice just for something that you don't have to worry too much about. The sump and stuff, they are going to be just slightly more limiting on what equipment you can have, but for something easy to maintain, and contained, I think all-in-ones are great. And since you can go up to that 4-foot length, you still get a nice size aquarium with the all-in-one features.
For sure.
All right, so now we're going to check out our little Cube 20, give some love to the smaller tanks.
Yeah.
This one I really like this one. It looks good. It's actually in our break room, and it is simple as
loaded.
can be.
This was at the other studio also.
Yeah, so this moved over from the studio, roughly a year or so old, and as you can see, it is just a leather tank. And the simplicity of it is phenomenal. There's 2 clownfish and a whole bunch of leathers. The one has pretty much taken over the main big rock. We've got a couple other toadstools in there that are nice and big. But when everything is open fully, like it's glass to glass leather. And they're easy to keep. The waste product stays real low, 2 fish in there.
How often do you water changes in that one?
Every couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to, put everything back in. But I love there's a lot of movement in there. It's just...
It is a really nice tank.
So
I look
full.
at it every time I go in there. It's cool though, because it kind of shows you what you can do with a cube. No protein skimmer.
Yeah, no protein
Just a
skimmer.
prime light
Prime
on
light.
there.
Heater, and I have it on top off just because we are gone over weekends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they're good on smaller tanks to have. But, just to see something so well established, some nice big happy leathers. Because a lot of times leathers get taken out of reefs because they do get so big. This one started an eighth of that size.
The one thing I kind of noticed with this, correct me if I'm wrong, since the leather's grown in so much, it seems like it kind of doesn't have anywhere else to go, so it hasn't. Would that be correct to say?
Yeah, it's kind of maxed itself out.
Like if you gave it a larger tank, it would then keep spreading.
It does, because it kind of flops over and attaches to more rock and more rock. But it's gotten to the point where it works out well, because the type of leather that's grown in so big is kind of nicely spaced out, so the leathers and toadstools around it still get enough light. But as you see, I do actually need more flow in there, because it does block a lot of flow because there's so much leather. And you see the sand actually has a little bit of diatom and all that. You know, and ideally I would put in like a Nero 3 into there and increase the speed up too.
Yeah.
But I just love, it's just so big.
Really cool though. Cube is a great, they come in 10, 15, 20, 25.
Yep.
So definitely
love
check those
leathers,
out.
that's
Tons of
great to do
users
it.
in the Facebook user group on that.
Very
too.
popular size.
Yeah.
Extremely popular.
Let's go right on to the next tank.
All right. So this one is a new OLX I'm talking about. So this is the Gen 2 that was released last year,
Blue Friday.
Blue Friday. And this one
Wait,
is...
was it Blue Friday?
No, it was not.
The last 2 years, they evaporated
Yeah, they did.
and merged at the same
They
time.
did.
So it's like, I don't know.
We released them and then they started shipping last year. I don't know what month. My bad. But
It's the Gen 2.
it is the Gen 2. So this,
290.6, right?
yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
The previous one was 270.6.
Yeah, so this is a 6 foot. And for this one, we actually combined the Reef 180.5 DX and the Infinia 215.5 that we had here. That was actually over at our, the Infinia was at the studio. The DX we sent up recently. We did a video on that. And this we actually moved a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Combined it all in. And as you see, a lot of the fish, mangoes in there, a lot of our tanks from those tanks all combined back together. And a lot of this did come out of the original 7-foot LX that then moved into the other tanks and now is transferred back into an LX.
Jess
And
is like the master tank mover now.
check out the bubble coral.
Massive.
This thing is so big.
Some of you guys might remember that thing. That thing has been with us for quite a while. It was originally in the 220.6 Dream build, then it moved into the 7-foot
Yeah, moved into the
LX. Now it's in a
LX.
6-foot LX.
Then it went into the Infinia, and now it's back here. And I had to scape with that coral in mind, because you
Yeah.
can't just build what you want and then realize you have this basketball size bubble coral that has some good stinger tentacles come out, and it needs a lot of space. So that whole side there was made to conform around that
The
coral.
fish in here are stunning too. I mean, you got yellow tangs, you got
Got
Naso
mimic.
tang, you got the majestic fox face.
Yep, you got your chocolate mimic tang,
I mean,
sailfin,
such nice fish.
Kamini. It's a really nice group of tangs, and we did combine two tangs from two different tanks, and we actually got them melded together seamlessly. Not a single tang tail kicked or tried to slice any other tang, which is pretty good. Usually have some issues.
Yeah, that's great.
But this is mixed reef, no SBS in it at this point, because like I said, we just transferred everything over a couple weeks ago. Even if you're transferring established stuff, you still need to be cautious on, make sure everything's stable, riding bacteria, and making sure that everything's still happy even with transferring.
Got a nice garden of Euphilia there. That's all-
Yes. So this is all hammers, torches, frog spawns, all in one area. Going to add some more to that side as well.
Those mushrooms down there are pretty nice. What
Yeah,
do you know what
and then
those
you
are?
have a arch of green star polyps in
Oh,
the back.
I can see that there's also the branching star polyps in the back right.
Yeah, so Rhodactis, got a Rhodactis rock. Big old conch off in the sand.
Yeah.
So it turned out really nice. Everything transferred good. So I still have some stuff to add to it. We've got some spots open. But that is our newest setup here at the office. So did a big merge between those other two 5-foot.
So the new, if you guys aren't familiar with it, the Reef LX Generation 2, which is a slightly larger Euro
Yep.
brace. Check them out.
Yep, taller
Goes all the way up to
Euro brace.
7 foot.
Yep, it's the only line that goes
Yeah.
up to the 7 foot. So, all right, so that's all our salt water here. Got some questions.
Cole's asking, what's the coral you guys have the hardest time growing?
SBS.
Yeah.
It's the hardest coral type to grow.
You want to know something that's kind of weird? Is the hardest coral for me always historically has been a bird's nest. And it's
That's
supposed
one
to
of
be
the
the
easier
easiest.
of the SBS.
And it drove me frickin' nuts. Because I'm like, I can keep every other SPS, but these damn bird's nests won't grow.
Yeah,
Always die.
no, SBS are notoriously like just hard to keep. Like any of the easier to keep ones, I don't think I have any that just like are my like one I just can't keep. But you know, if you get into that, just be prepared for more work.
Goes back to buying aquacultures when you can.
Yeah, that does help a
Alright.
lot.
When ordering multiple things such as a tank and then pumps, lights, do they come in the same shipment or would pumps and lights come separately from the tank?
If you order them at the same time, they should all come together.
Yeah.
Unless something was just like out of stock for a little bit longer, we ship the rest. But for the most part, you're ordering a tank and everything. If it's a big tank, it's all going to come on one big pallet together. If it's something small like a cube, you're just going to get multiple boxes in your ground shipment.
Yep. What would be better for a clownfish to host a large Ghani garden or a hammer spawn garden? One would decide the fate of the other flow-wise. Best garden for lower flow. That was kind of difficult for me to read. Not Ethan's fault, just me
And honestly,
trying to process.
it depends on how aggressive your clowns are in hosting, because if clowns are really aggressive hosters, they can kill any coral they try to host. However, you're going to be a lot better off with like hammer, frog spawn, and euphyllias for them to host in, because they tend to be able to handle it a lot better. Goniopores and stuff like that, if they're being hosted in a lot, it's going to cause them not to be as open and not be able to feed as well. And feeding's really important for goniopores. Not as much for alveopores, but definitely goniopores. You're going to have a higher risk of them slowly starving if clowns are. But you don't get the choice. I mean,
They're going to do what they want
if
to do.
you've got both in the tank, your clown's going to decide whatever. It could be a mushroom he decides to, do instead. Ours rubbing leathers, they don't care what it is. If it has any flow to it, they're just
Well, you
in
remember
it.
that beautiful elegance we had
Yeah,
that was
they did kill it.
destroyed by the clowns that were laying
Problem with
eggs?
them is they laid eggs on it, and then they would kick the dirt up and they'd like bite at the flesh so that it would stay closed and they could keep their eggs clean, and they eventually just killed it. So you don't get a choice.
Yeah. With custom tanks, can they be pre-drilled to like a Herbie setup?
With custom, you can choose where you want your holes to be drilled, size, type of overflow, layout. You can see when you go into the form, it's going to give you different options as far as like external, internal, center, that type of stuff, your overflow. Plumbing can be somewhat customized as well.
Yep.
So get in your regular quote, and then you can make changes and adjustments as we go through the process.
Any tanks at the office without water changes?
Nope.
Nope.
Maybe not as
Rustin,
often
you do,
as they
yeah,
should.
you do water changes.
Water
You have
changes.
to.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, every aquarium is going to have to be changed water. There's a couple methods out there that say that it's no water change method, but that's a whole lot more involved thing. We like simple.
Yeah,
do your water
you're not going to
changes, do
convince
your
me on the
proper
no water
stuff.
changes. You're in a closed system.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works. Fernando, do you have a skimmer on that Cube 20?
Do not. With it being leathers and only 2 fish, really not necessary. If it was more of a mixed reef, had a lot more fish, more waste, I definitely would look into putting the Tunzi 9001 works good on those cubes. But for a leather tank, honestly, it's just the most simplistic tank, and I love it.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. The Tunzi dock skimmers. We do have those. People ask for nano skimmers for the smaller tanks for a long time.
Yeah.
We finally have them
Yep.
from Tunzi. Head to the website. I think there's a compatibility chart there.
There's a compatibility chart, so we
those?
got the 9001, 9004, so anything from cubes up to the all-in-ones.
Yeah.
I'll have a skimmer that work with them. So, all right. So we're going to look at some freshwater in this place. We haven't had freshwater in a bit. So first one we'll look at is actually the Clear 16 as a planted freshwater. And this is actually the one that Rich set up in our freshwater versus saltwater 3 or 4 week series that we did. Check that out from a couple months ago. So this one has been up and running for about 4 months.
Awesome. And again, I want to mention real quick, if you guys go to our website, you go to videos, you can see all these build series.
Yeah.
So
pretty much every tank that we have set up has a video or some kind of information, videos on it. So simple planted aquarium, nice little internal filter from CJ, prime light, and just some easy, got swords, floating things, Java, fern. or moss or whatever.
I think we use the Carib Sea.
Moss or fern, one of
Complete.
them.
I think it's the Eco Complete black substrate, right?
Uh-huh.
We got cherry shrimp.
Yeah,
in
there's a
there,
mix
right?
of different types of cherry shrimp. You got some tetras in there, some cory cats. Just a nice community mix in there.
Anything we're missing, Rustin?
There's a female beta in there.
A female beta.
Oh, there you go. That's
you
pretty
go.
cool.
You can see all the little bottom dwellers. But it's filled out really, really nicely. You
Yeah.
started that, right?
I did.
Do you feel proud?
I do.
Right?
You know,
Right? That came from you in the
it's
beginning.
pretty special.
Just added fish.
I admire it here and there as I walk by and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. It is very, very pretty. So we'll definitely have some more freshwater stuff coming up in this year for some builds and stuff. But something a little bit more unusual that is here, Rustin's tanks here, is, let's take a look at these guys. This is a clear 4820 and a clear 2420
These guys are some
with
of my
some flower horns.
my favorite things in the office right now, to be honest, because it's so different.
Yeah.
Something that I've never personally had any experience with. Pretty darn cool.
So you see, we got two tanks here. Flower horn setups are very basic, right? They don't need that much. They like simple. The big old noggin.
What do we run on
There
here?
you go.
Canister filter, like a CJ canister filter.
That's a well.
Yeah, so it's a
Yeah.
canister filter, heater because they like warmer water, and then really just kind of doing his thing. You see the one next to him. He's ready to fight you on the camera.
And if you're wondering what these tanks are, the one's clear 4820, and I think that's a 2420.
Yep.
Correct. Mm-hmm. So using the clear series for these two.
So something a little bit more different around here. They're cool, and you put a little stick thing you have that looks like another flower horn and make them all mad. Let me see.
Is there a reason for that, Rustin? With the little, just
What's up?
to keep keeps them
He
active?
grooms them, keeps them active,
Yeah.
helps them grow out their KOK.
Yeah.
Yeah. There he goes. Arr.
Oh, there you go.
They're fine.
Got to keep them aggressive.
They're really pretty. There's a lot of color on these flower horns. They're beautiful. If you ever see any in person, actually there's a lot of contests that happen at a lot of the
Yeah.
trade shows and stuff like that, or like things I think like Aquashell and stuff. But you see something like the lineup of these guys, like
They're like the
There's a lot-
super villain of fish. They got like the huge brain dome. You know?
really mean, colorful. So currently that is all the aquariums that we have set up here at the office. There will be more coming this year. We have a lot going on for this year that's
We
coming
do.
up.
You guys
So
definitely want to stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe because we got a lot of really fun educational stuff coming up.
Can't tell you what,
Nope.
Nope.
Not yet.
but there's a lot happening this year. So
There always is. We're always trying to outdo it.
yeah, always very busy. All right.
How would the payments work when some items in your cart offer monthly installments and other things don't?
Contact support at waterboxaquariums.com for all your financing needs.
Yeah. I don't know what market he's in, but
Yeah,
can you add rock after the initial cycle?
you can. So the only thing you want to be careful of, if depending on what rock you're looking at, if you're buying live rock from like a local fish store and it actually came from the ocean, you're going to have a big deal as far as curing that rock and making sure there's no die-off. So it's a lot more risky that way. You're much better off adding to an established tank something like the Carib Sea Life Rock, which is what we use because it is seeded with bacteria on it. So once it goes in the water, it activates and it's going to become live and good for your system. You don't want to go swapping out a ton of established rock for non-established rock. You can mess up your cycle, and you just don't want to add any rock that could have dirt, parasites, and other stuff dying off on it. So you do want to do it carefully, and you also don't want to put a ton of like dry rock with no bacteria into it as well, because that will offset your cycle. With anything with a reef tank, if it's established, just go slow and very cautious with it.
Perfect.
All right, good questions today.
Appreciate all the questions, you guys. That was really great. We're ready to give away
Got 2 shirts.
some swag.
Find out who's been active in these comments here. I have a feeling by questions we might know.
Pretty long name, but you got it.
All right, Rich has got this. I don't say them. All right, so we got 2 Waterbox shirts. Ready?
Drum roll for the swag. These are very comfortable shirts, by the way. Musical theater experience and Thunder.
No, gung-
Thunder.
Thunder. Woo!
Thank you guys so much. It's good to be back. We're looking forward to this year.
Yep. Email winners@waterboxaquariums.com, and they will get you hooked up with your shirt. Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue on with our weekly. And next week, we're going to be talking about salt. It's a good topic. We're going to do some
Gonna
mixing
revisit it?
demo. Yeah, we're going to revisit. We haven't talked about it in a while. All of that good stuff. We have a ton of people out there now using the Waterbox salt. Feedback
Yeah.
has been amazing.
This is one you guys are going to want to tune in for. If you've considered the Waterbox salt, if you're thinking about using it, if you know someone that's using it, definitely a good one to tune into. If you haven't checked it out, head over to waterboxaquariums.com. There's a lot of reviews that have flown in.
Yeah.
So people are loving it. So definitely check it out and tune in next week for sure.
Yep. So back on Thursday at 6 p.m.
See ya.
See ya.
Thank you all for watching. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. And also remember, you can visit us online at waterboxaquariums.com.
Also join our official Facebook group. Thanks for watching live. See you next week.
Out, out, wait, out, out.